is Tuesday, June 16th, 2020 at 3:08 p.m. Alright guys, I finally managed to get around to making the video. Alright, so yesterday, or actually this morning at around 3 a.m., I made a quick video about what was happening, and here are the articles. New missile attack targets airport hosting U.S. forces in Iraq. So Beirut, Lebanon, a new missile attack was reported at a Iraq military base at that is hosting U.S. armed forces, local sources said on Tuesday. According to the sources, at least two Kaesong missiles targeted the near the Baghdad airport, causing a brief explosion in the process. The sources said two missiles specifically targeted the Center for Diplomatic Support in Baghdad, which hosts officials of the international coalition. No information has been released about any loss of life or property. Furthermore, no one has claimed responsibility for this latest attack. Alright. Next. Let's see. 20 Indian soldiers dead after clash with China along disputed border. At least 20 Indian soldiers have died after a violent face-off with Chinese troops along the country's de facto borders in the Himalayas late Monday, the Indian Army has said. The incident occurred during a de-escalation process underway in the Galwan Valley in the disputed Akash-Chin-Ladakh area, where a large troop buildup has reportedly been taking place for weeks now on both sides of the border. Before senior military commanders began talks earlier this month, the Indian Army has earlier said 3 soldiers have died, but added on Tuesday that a further 17 troops were critically injured in the line of duty at the standoff location, and exposed to sub-zero temperatures and the high-altitude terrain have succumbed to their injuries. The deaths are the first military casualties along the two countries' disputed border for more than 40 years. So India and China along the border clashing. And then also, North Korea blows up joint liaison office with South Kaesong. You see here a picture of South Korea released military footage of explosion at the border at Kaesong. North Korea has blown up a joint liaison office with the South near the North's border town of Kaesong. The move just hours after the North Korean renewed threats of military action at the Korean border. The site was opened in 2018 to help the Koreas, officially in a state of war, to communicate. It has been empty since January due to COVID-19 restrictions. In a statement, South Korea wanted it would respond strongly if the North continues to worsen the situation. The destruction of the office, it said, abandons hope of everyone who wanted the development of inter-Korean relations and placed settlement in the Korean peninsula. The government makes it clear that the responsibility of the situation lies in the North. The Russian expressed concern at the renewed tensions between the Koreas. We call for restraint of all sides, Dmitry Peskov, a spokesman for President Vladimir Putin, said on Tuesday. Reuters news agency quoted an unarmed senior U.S. officials are saying the Trump administration remained in close coordination with our Republic of Korea, South Korea allies. So, escalation everywhere. We got India, we got Baghdad, we have Korea. And then now also, there is a fire eclipse coming this week. Moon eats Venus, creates Solstice ring of fire eclipse. So there's pretty much an eclipse coming. Let me scroll down to the eclipse part of the article. Okay, Saturday, June 20th, 2020, there's a solstice. It's June solstice or summer solstice in the hemisphere. And then on June 21st, 2020, a solstice ring of fire eclipse. It says, I remember I told you about the moon at apogee. Since it's further away from the Earth, the average, the moon seems a little smaller in the sky. And that's a real effect today because the new moon crosses the sun exactly as seen from some parts of the globe. It causes a solar eclipse, not a total solar eclipse, but a special kind of partial solar eclipse called an annular solar eclipse that looks like a ring of fire around the moon. The new moon will block 99.4% of the sun at maximum. A ring of fire will be visible from parts of the Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Ethiopia, uh, Eritrea, Yemen, Oman, Pakistan, India, Tibet, China, Taiwan, and Guam. And these are some of the areas that are being affected right now: Tibet, China, and India. Are being affected right now by these incidents happening um, in the news here, in the news articles. See here, the Indian soldiers were killed during a violent face-off with Chinese troops along the country's de facto border in the Himalayas late Monday, the Indian army said. So these areas that are being affected by this eclipse are also being affected by chaos right now. I don't know if it's coincidence or if it's actually related, but that's something that I needed to bring up. Also, here's a little drawing about people in baseball who are fans of baseball. They're just pretty much sitting, um, waiting along in a fire, basically, with their baseball, waiting for the season to start, trying to get some news. They have no idea when the season's gonna start. Also, there's Saharan dust coming across the Atlantic, and that's great news because it stops any hurricanes from development. And that's the little video clip here that's happening. And it was just a lot of breaking news last night, and I was pretty much, I need a drink. All I got is beer and rum. So that's it for this video. Last night was a doozy, and it still is a doozy today from all these headline news about these chaotic energies that are happening right now in the news. Let's pray and hope that for peace happening in the world, and no wars develop because of these incidents. Let's stay positive, guys. Alright, see you next time. God bless. Hit like and subscribe.